Today we unbox Masters of the Universe Series 1. Welcome everyone back to the channel. Kyle here, and today's unboxing, like I said, we are going to do the new Masters of the Universe Origins figures. As of right now, 2020 a Walmart exclusive. Come 2021, these will be available everywhere. Masters of the Universe Mania has been striking in 2020. Trying to find these are still, as of taping, a little bit hard to find. We keep hearing from Mattel, these are going to be everywhere, they're going to be everywhere, don't pay scalper prices, etc. And now we're starting to see HeMan and Skeletor, who ship in their own cases, start to get more plentiful at the stores. The rest of the gang, still pretty hard to find. I am still, as of this taping, looking for a second set to leave in the box. But we're going to open these ones up. And some of you guys have followed some of my videos, you know I'm an old school HeMan guy from being a kid. I collected all of them. I had Grayskull. I had, all the figures. I had pretty much everything, almost to the end. So I am very familiar with HeMan, of course. I'm very happy to see these come back out again. One of my biggest collecting regrets I've had over the years was not jumping in on the Mattel 7-inch scale, the more elite type figures. I really regret not getting those, but we've heard of recent announcements that those might be coming back or something similar to that vein in 2021, so fingers crossed there. But these are a throwback to the old school 5-inch or so figures that I played with in the early 80s as a kid. Just a little bit more articulated, some new head scans and stuff, but a very, very cool concept trying to bring HeMan to the next generation. And for the most part, these figures are fairly affordable. $14.92. They're not $20 and above like a lot of Star Wars, Marvel Legends, stuff like that. So these are something I could see maybe kids playing onto, or at least parents buying for young kids out there to try, because hey, the price point's not absolutely crazy. They don't look super delicate like some of the Marvel Legends, for example, or Star Wars that could break easy in a little kid's hand. These are really made to be played with. And we're going to get down to that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to open them up and see what all the fuss is about with these HeMan figures. And I figured to start the unboxing, we'll go one-on-one like we do with any other line. But I figured we'd start with the HeMan first. Got to start with the heavy hitter. You can't have a Masters of the Universe collection without our boy HeMan, that is for sure. So here's the package. Take a look here up front. Love the graphics. This just screams 1980s toys. Me going to Children's Palace, Toys R Us with my dad, looking and saying, holy cow, there's all of them, thumbing through them. The packaging just brings you back to the old school 80s feel of buying HeMan. I absolutely love the packaging. As of right now, I'm still kicking it around, but I think I'm going to go for a mint on card set and a loose set of these. My goal is to get unpunched. So far, I've found HeMan and Skeletor unpunched. Got to find the rest of the group unpunched. I will get protective cases for these, and I will start a wall of HeMan. I think it will look awesome when I get a full wall, bunch of different figures on there in cases. I just think that will be a great, great look. I cannot wait to finish that off, and we'll see. Time will tell if we can get that done. But HeMan, like I said, the packaging is throwback. It brings you back. Younger kids, they don't know any different, but boy, this is a great way to get collectors like me reinvested in this line. If they put this in a box or something totally different, I don't know if collectors like me that lived in the heyday of HeMan would be all after this. It's that box art, the cool art, the cool spooky art. I always thought it was a spookier, kind of grittier artwork than, say, G.I. Joe or Transformers as a kid. It was, I don't know, something spoke to it, and it was dark. It was very heavy metal, I'll put it that way. But here's HeMan. He does have an updated head sculpt, of course, like all these do. He does look a little bit different than we remember him. Just kind of an updated, modern look. Just updated, tweak. It's got the history, it's got the feels of the old school, but a little bit of touch of the new school, I guess. Just a little bit different to bring it up to date for the younger generation, which is cool. I would hate it if they released the straight re-release of the 80s ones. Collectors would be losing their head. They'd be pulling their hair out. Very similar to the Kenner Ghostbusters that are out right now. A lot of people are pretty angry about that. It is what it is, though. Companies are in it to make money. They don't care about your collection. Their collection is not making money. A re-release, that's going to make them some money. So, little tip there. Clear packaging all the way around on the sides. Like I said, no box on these. the cool Masters of the Universe artwork there. And then what I absolutely love is the artwork at the top. Everybody's got their own artwork. There's He-Man with Castle Grayskull in the background. Hopefully that's a sign that we're going to get a new Castle Grayskull. I know playsets are very hard to get these days. Hard to get as far as onto retail shelves. It takes up a lot of room. It's a heavy price point. It doesn't turn as much as, say, an individual figure. So the targets of the Walmarts are a little gun shy to buy some of these big playsets. But I'm hoping we can at least get a Castle Grayskull out of this series. But very, very cool artwork. Comic book included, just like the old days. And we'll look at that when we get it open. There's the rest of the lineup. The original 6 for this first set. Kind of a little description. There's the old power sword there. Legalese down at the bottom. The front it says modern posing, retro play. So I guess it's a retro inspired figure with some modern posing. I think that represents the new articulation at the elbows and the knees and stuff. So let's read the back here. Modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures, Masters of the Universe Origin gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-style figures or in new action-packed battle positions. So there you go. It shows fit the power sword into hand, twist into powerful battle positions is what it says back here. With the mystical power sword, the mighty He-Man protects Eternia from the forces of evil, and that he does, as we all know. So very cool. I give this packaging a very good A. Love the packaging. That's why I have to have them in on box set. This packaging, it speaks to me. It brings me back to being a kid. Just remember seeing these all the time. So new for 20 up here at the top. Time will tell. As I said a little earlier, 2021, these figures are going to be everywhere. You'll be able to get this exact same He-Man. They're going to re-release all these to the stores all over again. He-Man will be at your Target or whatever, your hobby shop and stuff. I just wonder if this new for 20 logo will be off there. That will separate this as a Walmart exclusive. They'll take this off and you'll know here was the original Walmart edition, here was the 2021 edition. Something along them lines are probably going to happen. Mattel's smart enough to know that if they take this off and put something different or leave this off, it will make some collectors buy a second set. They want to turn and burn as much product as they possibly can. So nice little tab down here that I'm going to use to open up. It's going to be clean. I can feel it. Clean as a whistle. Opens right up. There's the packaging. And guess what, guys? We're going to say, see you later. Let's go to the comic first. A little interesting. There is the comic. On the back, you got the checklist there. I'm not going to read this whole comic to you, but it looks like he's taking on Beastman. Just a cool comic. Now, if you guys are familiar with the WWE Masters of the Universe toys, we'll get to that a little bit later with a little bit of comparison, but they all come with a comic book as well. So the comics are in and there to stay. It looks like we'll have a comic with all these. Save that to the side. He-Man in packaging. There he is. Looking only like he can look, of course. Very cool. Comes with all of his gear, his shield, his sword, all in a little baggie. Open up that baggie. Let's get it out. One gripe we'll get to here that I see right off the bat that I forgot about. See you later. Love the shield. The iconic He-Man shield. Has to have that. That is for sure. And then the axe. I don't believe the original He-Man came with the axe. My brain, I'm just thinking back. I think it was later editions, but maybe I'm wrong. And then, of course, the iconic sword. Have to have the sword. But here's my gripe. It's a gripe that I share back to the original Masters of the Universe, and I guess this is why they did it. You get the half power sword. It's not the full sword. I'm guessing, I'd bet you anything, you got to connect to Skeletor, just like back in the old days. You connected them together, it opened up Castle Grayskull. There's no Castle Grayskull right now, so will that happen or not? I think this is a miss. I would have much rather had a full sword, and I think when you put the purple and the gray sword together, it never looked right. I hope Mattel figures something out and releases a full sword one of these days, hopefully soon, because I just don't like the half sword. I've always never been a fan of that, that's for sure. Let's get He-Man out of his plastic prison here. Got a little rubber band, which I'm kind of surprised at this price point figure. They were spending the money on the rubber bands to lock him in at the hands and the feet. But hey, they did it, and they wanted to protect these figures, so good on you, Mattel, for the extra packaging, especially on a cheaper price point figure. Getting a little wordy there. But yeah, got He-Man out. Feels just like the Masters of the WWE Universe. Fairly good paint. I don't see any paint application problems. The articulation is so much more than the original He-Man stuff. Some of you guys think I told the story before. I sold all my stuff back in 1999. I'll never forget it. One of the worst regrets of my life. I wish I had all those toys back now. Is what it is. Can't change history, but I sold all my He-Man toys, so I don't have any originals to compare it to. But, the original ones had no articulation at the arms and the legs. This one, we got the ankles. We got twisty there at the leg there, and then we got, of course, a twist at the knee, and then a bend at the knee, and you got the hips that move, you got the waist, you got the arms, you got the elbows, you got the wrists, you got the head, you got back side by side. I mean, just a lot of articulation compared to the old days. And a lot of people love these figures because they remind people of the Remco wrestling figures. That's why the WWE figures are in there. Kind of a retro style. It's cool. A lot of mix and matching here. It'd be really interesting to know. I know a ton of He-Man fans have been buying the Masters of the WWE Universe. There was a lot of mixed emotions when that line first came out. It really took off to the next level with the WWE fans. The Masters fans buying the WWE ones and vice versa. That's been a slam dunk. But here is the He-Man. Very cool. One thing we should talk about, these are very great for customizers. You can customize the heck out of these things, just like the WWE ones. Everything pops off. You can pop them right off at the waist, the legs. Everything is interchangeable. Mix and match parts. Maybe it's my OCD-ish temperament. I don't know. I would absolutely die if all of a sudden Skeletor's on half of here and He-Man and it's all mixed and matched. I always want to keep my guys whole the way they're supposed to be. It's just the way I am. I've always been that way. I don't like to mix and match, but I know there's a lot of people out there that do, of course. There's He-Man with his sword. Let's put there it is. Get that in there maybe. Needs to be a little tighter. Get the hand in. There it is, the sword and shield. Looking like something right out of a Man-O-War poster for you metalheads. We all love ourselves some Man-O-War. He-Man, you can put the axe in the back, the holster back there. This guy is ready to throw down at a moment's notice. That is for sure. So there is He-Man. A little long-winded on the He-Man. We got to set the stage for all the other ones. The other ones will go a little bit faster, of course, but we had to start with He-Man, the most iconic of the bunch. So let's look at the next one. All right, next up, we got the other heavy hitter. The yin and yang of He-Man and Skeletor. Had to open Skeletor next. He-Man's greatest foe, his greatest villain, and I guess in later series we find out it's his actual uncle is Skeletor. Very interesting there. There is Skeletor. Same packaging, of course, the package uniformity. There's Skeletor in the blue and purple. Just very iconic. Let's see what the back says here. The nefarious overlord Skeletor wants to control the power within Castle Grayskull. We all do, but, He-Man's guarding that, so it's not always possible. A lot of the other stuff is the same. The card back is the same. Includes comic book. Fit Havoc staff into hand. Twist into powerful battle positions is what it says about Skeletor there. There is the great artwork. I love that artwork at the top. It's one of the coolest things always. Like I said, Masters of the Universe always had great artwork. Besides that, everything looks to be the exact same. Let's open up Skeletor. Let's get him out. Pull him out of his prison here. See you later. And there's Skeletor. Flashing back. So there he is in package. Just a beauty. Just hits you in all the nostalgia feels, that is for sure. He is locked in, just like He-Man was. They use the rubber bands. Good for them. I have no problems with that. I'm like I said, I am surprised they use rubber bands on a cheaper price point figure, where some more expensive ones don't get them. But is what it is. See you later. He's got his staff and his sword all wrapped in here. Holy cow. It's like opening a Christmas present. Pull that out. Stick that in here. See you later. Get all these rubber bands. I mean, gosh. Unbelievable. But yeah, just hits you in the feels. Very similar to the He-Man articulation. We got to admit, we got to call it spade a spade. This is a very cheap line to produce. Basically, you're making the same figure, just coloring it different. Just a few different accessories added. But this is the kind of figure manufacturing companies absolutely love, because they start from one base, add a few things, and bam, you got a new figure. So that is very cool for them. Saves a lot of money. I think these things are probably fairly cheap to produce, and that's why I think we're going to be hammered with these for a lot. I can also see these having a pretty deep discount down the line if it gets to that, if they don't sell so well. We talked about the HeMan sword. The Skeletor sword is the other half. I've never liked that. I think it's cool that, yeah, that's the key to open up Castle Grayskull, but give Skeletor his own sword, give HeMan his own sword. I hope they do that somewhere down the line. I'm sure they will. I forgot to show this comic book. So this is the exact same comic book as HeMan. So I don't know if they're all going to be that way. Something tells me if these two are the same, they're probably all going to be the same. That's a miss if you ask me. Why do we need 7 or 8 of those exact same comic books? Cut the comic book down to a page in each one, and that way if you have them all, you can read them together. I don't know, but who needs 7 or 8 of the same exact comic books? Not me, that's for sure. Love the goat head kind of staff he has there. I mean, Skeletor is one of the most heavy metal, iconic type figures ever. Just the skull, the skeleton, the goat's head. I mean, this guy was probably listening to some hardcore thrash music back in the day. Or maybe Skeletor, I'm guessing he was a big fan of the new wave of British heavy metal. He saw the change of the guard from the classic rock. He was digging himself some, some Saxon, some Maiden, some Briar, some Demon. Let's go deep with the new wave of British heavy metal. Some Sweet Savage, you name it. So many out there. I don't count Def Leppard, though. You're not going to see Def Leppard out of my mouth. But all the same articulation with HeMan here, but just different. He's got the kind of, I don't know what you call them, duck feet almost. I bet you Merman will have the exact same feet. But I like it. I don't see any pain issues. I like Skeletor's head. I saw some of the online pictures of the Skeletor head, and I didn't like it as much. But in person, I feel it looks way better. A cool figure. And one you have to have. I know our friend of the show, great friend of the show, David C. Anderson, he is not all in on this HeMan line, but he said, you know what, I need HeMan and Skeletor. And I think there's going to be a lot of people. That's why they have their own cases. People need HeMan. They need Skeletor. Those are the two you have to have. Those are must-have. A great desk display. Grab Panther and Battle Cat, you're all set. But then others, like myself, will get everything else in the line. But there is Skeletor, just a cool figure. Hits me in all the nostalgia feels. Now let's dig into the rest of the line. All right, next we got Teela. One of the first female figures I ever owned as a kid was Teela. So I had a lot of good memories playing with Teela. Just like the He-Man Skeletor, same type packaging. Totally updated. I never liked the female figures back in the Masters of the Universe days. The figures were always kind of slim. This one looks a little bulkier, not as tall from first impressions. Maybe I'm wrong. I look inside, I see the comic book is the exact same comic book as the other two, so we're not going to get into that. There is the artwork for Teela. I love the artwork. Very reminiscent of the old one. Not as dark, more cartoony. The other one was a lot darker, I thought. Magical staff into hand, twist into powerful battle positions. As captain of the Royal Guard, Teela fiercely fights to protect Eternia alongside He-Man. You can see in the back, see King Randor and the whole crew. I just love that artwork. Very iconic. But let's open up Teela. Let's get down to it. Let's get her open. Get a comic book out of there. There you go. There it is. See you later. Alright, pull it out. And she is also rubber band in, so, it is what it is. They're rubber band in. It looks like all of them will be. See you later. See you later, rubber band. Very reminiscent of the old Teela, but just a more squatty, more smaller, not as tall, but very reminiscent of what she had before. I remember I always kept this snake hood off of her. I don't know if she's ready to join Cobra, ready to jump over into a different line, but all the same articulation, just at a smaller scale. I love this. I think it's good. I'm glad they didn't use the He-Man size bodies on these, but a great update of the original scale, that is for sure. Let's get this open here. Possibly, maybe. Maybe. She comes with her snake staff. Very easy for me to say, I guess. Can I get this open without a knife? You would think. But boy, if I can't, no way a kid can, that's for sure. There it is. Got it out. So there is the snake staff. Very cool. I remember I always used this when I played with toys as a kid. I definitely don't play with toys now, but when I was a kid, when I was playing, I always used this in G.I. Joe. I used this as one of Serpentor's snakes. If you guys remember the G.I. Joe animated movie, when Serpentor threw that snake right into the chest of Duke, thinking we killed him, I always used this when I would play. So there you go. I'm sure other people had that idea as well back in the day. I can't be the only one. She always had this, it's funny, this little shield of hers. I had it as a kid, obviously. I lost it, I'd find it, I'd lose it, I'd find it. It was always kind of funny how that worked. Whoop, dropped that out of her hand. She does have little hands, so a little harder to get some of this stuff in there, but there's her, her with her snake. Very cool. I actually prefer... I like this one a lot more than the original. I mean, the original He-Man and Skeletor are so iconic to me. Teela, I guess, is, but I actually like this update. This is, out of the ones we've done so far, this update I like the best. I like the female sculpts better than back in the day by miles. Where the other ones are an improvement, obviously, but not as much as the female figures. And I gotta think Evil-Lyn will be the exact same as this. So, slam dunk on Teela. Slam dunk across the board on this line so far. But we got more to go. Let's get to the next one. Next up, a childhood favorite, Man-at-Arms. Always loved Man-at-Arms, the heroic master of weapons. I loved him as a kid. I always thought of him as He-Man's right-hand man. Weapons master, royal advisor, Man-at-Arms, assist He-Man in the battle against evil. I believe his real name was Duncan. I always thought that was probably the first time I ever heard the name Duncan before, so... now we hear it all the time with Dunkin' Donuts, but there he is. A brighter green than I remember. I thought he was more of a forest green back in the day. Like I said, I don't have the other one to sit here and compare next to. But an iconic figure, an iconic one. I always love. There's that great artwork. Look at that. There he is shooting off. Yep, very cool. Kind of a dragon in the background. Get the moons on a volcano planet. I love the artwork. I've said it on each one. Each one gets better. Just iconic figures here. These are going to look great displayed all together. I can't wait till we get way deep in the line and I have a whole wall of these full. We'll all enjoy those together. But there it is. See you later. Get his stuff out here. All taped in. Man, they really package these well, like I keep saying. They're not messing around. There it is. Get the armor out. Get him out of here. Holy cow. Taped in. Old Duncan. Now, it's funny. This is one of those things. I don't know if it's the Mandela. See ya later. The Mandela effect or what. But Man-at-Arms has a mustache. In my brain, I always picture him with a mustache. But apparently, back in the day, he did not have a mustache on his figure. My memory says he did. But everything I've ever read and seen is he didn't. Now he is totally mustached. They did correct that. So there it is. He does have a mustache and an iconic mustache. A bit of a squatty head, but very cool. He's got his all the stuff you remember. Just, I think, a brighter green from my memory. You can see the back. They even painted on black hair. Originally, he did not have that. That was just left blank in the original figure. I know people have pointed that out before. Great blue helmet. I see no paint application problems with any of these figures so far. I know I've heard from some people that have had some overspray and issues like that. I've had absolutely none of that. So far, I'm slam dunk on these figures. I always say, take a look at your figures before you buy them, especially if you're opening them. Look for the ones. If there's two Man-at-Arms there, look and see which one looks the best. I am guilty of not doing that. I always get the rush of finding things and get into a hurry. Comes with 3 different shield pieces, which is awesome. Those were all one shield piece back in the day. They broke them up to add for the arm articulation. Great attention to detail. They didn't have to do that, but they did. You can tell there was a lot of love brought into this line, and I'm guessing the designers and stuff probably were a fan as a kid, and they wanted to update their He-Man. Good for them. I would do the exact same thing if I was in their shoes. There's Man-at-Arms. I'll put these other ones on. You'll see them in the pictures, but another slam dunk figure and a must-have. This is probably outside of He-Man the other must-have, I always thought, as far as the good guys go. Good old Man-at-Arms. The trusty number 2. All right, we roll on with some more bad guys, and we talked about Evil-Lyn a little bit earlier, and here she is in the flesh. So a very iconic character. Teela's enemy, I guess, the number 2 to Skeletor. Evil-Lyn, very similar packaging as you guys all know. The retro play, great head sculpt. The face looks better. I mean, the original one was very low detailed. I didn't like the female figures as a kid. These are awesome. These look much better. Evil-Lyn wields frightening magic, making her both Skeletor's greatest ally and his worst enemy. That's Evil-Lyn. So there it is. Let's see on the back. Fit crystal ball into hand, twist into powerful battle positions. Great artwork as usual, as we've talked about. Let's open her up. Let's see what we got going on in here. Same comic book. That's the weirdest thing. This has been a great line so far. The comic book just kind of weird. I just don't understand it. But see you later anyways. I'll get her staff out of here, maybe. Maybe we'll get it out. They really got these wrapped in here good. They don't want them going anywhere. One thing I will note on this packaging, Evil-Lyn on the case of all the friends of He-Man and Skeletor, I guess you would say, they all come case together. She is on the top. So what I noticed on that packaging, I could have shown it. I don't know if it would have shown up very well. But the packaging, when they cut the box open with the box cutter, see you later. When they open that up, they cut through the packaging and cut the back of the packaging on this figure. Not that big of a deal to me, as I knew I was opening this, but if I'm trying, and I am trying, to get a Mint on card set, I can't find one with a cut and slice in the back from a razor blade. It's going to be very difficult, but hey, see you later. It comes with her crystal ball staff. Very big for her hands, but fits like a glove. Very cool. I love the blue and the yellow, the contrast. You know, she's got like Simpsons skin. That's what that reminds me of. But very, very cool nonetheless. Great update on these female figures. They really did these justice and brought them to the next level, that is for sure. So a very solid figure. Once again, really no complaints. I have no paint issues with this one. Across the board, these are looking awesome. Each one just as good as the last. I just absolutely love it. So there it is. Let's move on to the final one. The iconic Beastman, probably my favorite villain. Let's open up Beastman. Alright, finally Beastman. I don't know why I loved Beastman so much as a kid. I guess I loved King Kong. I still love King Kong to this day. I love gorillas and I love Planet of the Apes. So I think kind of apes and beasts have always kind of been my thing at an early age and still to this day. And I love the iconic Beastman. Everybody knows Beastman. Great orange color to him. You know, the packaging the same as all the other ones. You can see the back, the artwork. This beautiful artwork on the back. I would love to have that picture hanging in my office at work. Just a cool thing with him leading his hordes of beast-like animals, I guess you would say. He is the savage henchman. The ferocious Beastman uses mind control to force animals to do Skeletor's evil bidding. Well, let's open him up. Let's see what we got going on here with Beastman. The same comic book we've seen a million times. Oh, man. There it is. See you later. Get Beastman out of his prison here. Another one. Rubber Band Central. We got to get these all out. There it is. See you later for the last time in this video. And boy, is he orange. But it reminds me, it just brings me back once again. Bringing me back to those play dates as a kid, playing with Beastman. One of the ones you have to have. Comes with his shoulder armor. We'll put those on later. And then, of course, his whip. There it is. Just awesome. Love Beastman. I love this whole series. You have to get Series 1. I could see, like, Series 2, they announced Ninjor, Stratos, Merman. Kind of getting down to the second tier of the He-Man people. But Series 1 is a must-have. All these guys are the heavy hitters. Just all must-haves. It just reminds me of the old days of He-Man. So this is the only one I've seen some paint imperfections on. There's a little white in his red-orange beard, I guess. There's a little scuff on his nose. A little disappointing there, as Beastman is one of my favorites, of course. I love the blue, the attention to detail. I mean, these are really an homage to the original ones. I can't say that enough. I think you guys got to get these, that's for sure. He's got his whip that he cracks at the other animals when he's leading. Just, I haven't seen any loose joints, any issues, no, like, broken things. You know, the playability for some kids out there that want to mix and match. You want to make a Beastman-Merman hybrid, you can do that. Just so much playability in these, that is for sure. just a slam dunk. I just absolutely love this Beast Man. I can't wait to get these on display. I still got to figure out how I'm going to display these guys. I got a whole room full ready for G.I. Joe, He-Man. I just got to figure out how I'm going to display these new lines that I've picked up in 2020. I've got a lot of lines I'm going. Something's got to give. But He-Man doesn't look to be one that's going to give anytime soon. I'm just all in on these figures. So that's it for Beastman. Another one, another must-have. Let's wrap this whole video up and close it off. All right, there you have it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed looking at all these one by one as we go through the Masters of the Universe Origins Series 1 figures. I also brought along the new King of Eternia, the Ultimate Warrior. From the Ultimate Warrior from the WWE Masters of the Universe line. As you can see, perfectly scales with these. A great tie-in. I'm not sure yet if I'll display these together or not, but I wanted to put at least one of the wrestling ones in here to the line to see how they compare and contrast. But a must-have. The WWE ones are flying off the shelf. Series 3 has been out for a while, and I don't see them at all. Series 2 is spotty. Very successful line, and I assume all these will be very successful. So there it is. That is the whole group. Let me know in the comments. Are you picking these up? Are you just being like David C. Anderson, our good friend? Are you picking up just He-Man and Skeletor? Are you going to go through the whole line? You're going to get all of them? What say you? Are you mint on card? Are you unbox Lucy? Or both like myself? But there it is. So tell me in the comments what you think about these. Don't forget to like the video as usual. And then don't forget to subscribe. We're going to keep opening these up. I'm going to have another video. We're opening up Battle Cat and Prince Adam and the Sky Sled. So we'll do that one separately. A little vehicle unboxing. So look for that one as well. But that's it. That's the whole line here from Series 1. Very good. A slam dunk. Very few imperfections. Highly, highly recommend this line. It's nice to have a simple line for once. Not crazy articulation and overly crazy complex figures. This really brings you back to being a kid. So I can't speak highly enough of this line. Hopefully it continues. Hopefully there's a lot of success. Hopefully in 2021 when it hits all stores, a lot more people will have access to these and the line will continue to grow and grow and grow, and we'll see where it ends up. But that's it. And until next time, I will see you guys all real soon.